Well, hopefully you guys are not willing to blow yourself up. Welcome back to another episode here at the Matrix Network Live. We are
Talking about
back.
inflation?
You talking about hardwood?
Oh, you mentioned blowing yourself up. I thought maybe you were mentioning inflation.
Well, I think Collie showed that once. He had like this video of somebody showing the perfect epitome of inflation. They took $2 and taped them together and inflated it.
Yep, that's true.
Wow. That's pretty wild.
Well, he's also shown how the dollar has aliens on the back of it.
Yeah. It's funny how much information you can get out of an American USD.
Yeah, and we're not talking about the digital type. Has to
The
be hard.
USDA.
Has to be real. But I appreciate everybody that's tuning in to another jam-packed episode of the Matrix Network Live, a byproduct of the back of your toilet. We are here. We are ready, and we are engaged. So, Elder, go ahead and read off what the chats have right now.
Sure. Not many. Let's see. We have a start very early today, actually, with good old Iron Man Bill. He said, I just became mayor of Asheville, North Carolina. So I hadn't heard anything about that in the news, and I guess congratulations are in order, Bill. I said, of course, I thought the mayor was Esther Mannheimer. The current, at least that's what I looked up as the current mayor of Asheville.
Well, good job, Iron Man.
Yeah. And then he said taco smell, to which I added duty smell, which I guess was a foreshadowing of what you'll be seeing in this week's pre-recorded on Saturday. I'm not giving anything away. I'm just saying, prepare yourself. Noah, who good to see you on early, Noah, said, did you eat the last mayor to absorb their power? Fascinating concept. I know that there was one of the ancient people used to do that, right? They used to eat their victims to get their power. I don't know who that was. The Picts, Scots, I don't know. Somebody. Vlad the Impaler. I don't know. I'm not a very good student of history. And then we have Iron Man saying, I'll try it. And finally, let's see if that's... Oh, wait, there's a little bit more. Hold on. I said better late than never. And then I said, come on down. And Iron Man said, thank you. So we're up to date already on the chats. There you go.
Well, that's interesting. On other news, the FDA has approved its first mRNA flu shot from Mondera. So we have progressed from COVID mRNA. Now they have approved the first flu shot mRNA. So if you are ready for mRNAs to come to a hospital near you, it's not for COVID now. Now it's also for the flu shot.
I guess I'm kind of ready.
Well, I think it's kind of the normative now because, everybody, there's no more COVID. How are they going to get this in you anymore? Well, everybody has to get a flu shot. So now
there's still COVID. Don't labor under the illusion that COVID has died off. It's still out there, hiding.
If they really wanted to bring it back, remember, they will. But it's not time to bring the next pandemic yet. But they need it to be common. They need everybody to still take this wonderful
vaccine.
Yeah. So, and not just any. We have plenty of flu vaccines. But they want to make sure that you get that mRNA vaccine, that one that is with lipid nanoparticles.
Oh.
And I've already explained all that. I'm not going down those roads, but it's on the on-rise. It's coming back. Who else is coming back? I thought he was dead. We all thought he was dead, but apparently he's back too.
Elvis?
Mitch McConnell was discharged from rehab following hospitalization. So he's still alive.
Oh, he looks great.
So it was Slim Shady.
Yeah, I thought he was dead, but apparently the clone version of him is still up and running, and he's back. So he's coming back too. He's coming back like COVID.
Oh, right. That's great.
It's hot and ready. Unlike Little Caesars, those hot and readies are gone. We don't get those $5 pizzas anymore. But
Pizza.
yeah, some reason my chats are not displaying, which I'm going to have to fix that. But there's a lot of
just
interesting.
Wondering if the next zombie outbreak is going to be the Mitch McConnell, where if you catch it, you turn into him, and then he'll just be popping up all over the place.
Mm.
Yeah, that's probably true.
At least we would know that we'd stay in office forever.
Yeah.
Even as a zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that worked, but hopefully it did. If it didn't, well, tough nuggets. Anyways, another thing that's going on is America's retirement nightmare has arrived. As we've been talking about it for a long period of time, they want to remind us that they will be going forward with their plan on raising the retirement age. And, currently you can have early retirement as early as 59 and 60, but now they are telling you that the new 45 is 65. And not only that, people are realizing you just can't afford to live without clocking in and clocking out anymore as an elderly individual. So,
well, that's true. I can attest to that.
What better way than just to give people more senseless jobs so they can continue feeding? And you know why they got to do this, right? They got to do this because people aren't having enough children. See, the Ponzi scheme works as long as you have new participants. New participants have to be new births. New births eventually become new feeders into the bottom of the scale of the scheme.
But they're the reason we're not having as many children.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's interesting that they play this paradigm. We want population control, but at the same time, we know that this is going to eradicate the feeding of the Ponzi scheme. So what do? You force old people to work longer. How do you do that? By this so-called miracle of making people live longer. So they're going to come with this idea, which they're feeding everybody. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just live to 150? You don't need new children if you could just push people out another 50, 60 years. And all you got to do is keep doing that, right? Until it starts spreading out to we don't need people. And that gives them enough time to continue the dehumanistic idea and bringing autonomous production scale into reality. So you only have to hold this out as long until robots and autonomous utility becomes efficient. At that point, childbearing is regardless, because unless you're talking about a consumer economy, but this is all under the scheme that everything's going to resume as normal, we need commerce, blah, blah, blah. But if that's not the agenda or the goal, the only reason why you need people to live longer is because you just need more time for robots and AI to get more efficient. That's all you need. So we're just pushing the goalposts until that. But you don't need new children.
But if they're not pushing longevity to 150, that actually shows us a time frame of when they think robots are going to take over.
Right.
Because they're only pushing the elderly goalpost back to, 65 you said?
Yeah, so maybe 5-6 years.
Yeah. So, and that's by the time these elites are 65. So whoever's making these announcements, let's say if it's Orwell. What's that guy's? Ellison. How old is Ellison?
He's about there. He's like 60-something or 70. It's like
so he's already there.
Yeah, he's already there. But he'll be able to live and enjoy, of course. He's not going to be contributing to none of this. So he doesn't have a problem with that.
I've made my contributions, and now I'm reaping the benefits. Reaping, I tell you.
Well, clearly, me and colleague are not going to be able to. The
sorry,
goalpost
guys.
is going to keep moving, and we'll never be able to reach it. Like by the time we get that age, it's probably going to move to like 80.
What did they say they were setting it up at now?
Well, they're trying to make sure that it's 65 or older.
No, but you're going backwards. No, by the time we're older, robots are already taking over.
Right. That's why they're going to push it to something that's unreachable.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a Fugazi thing. Like you're going to think there's retirement, but you'll never touch it.
Well,
Because as
early
soon as you get to that
retirement
age,
for
they're
me-
just going to move it again.
Early retirement was 62. Oh no, was it 62? No, 65. I'm right. Early
Well, you can
retirement
claim
was
early
65.
as much. Well, it depends if you're a widow, then you can do 59.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if just standard regular retirement, you can start getting Social Security benefits. Right now, it's at 65 is early, 67 is the actual set time, and if you wait till 70, you'll get more money. So it's 65, 67, 70. I don't know what they're pushing it up to. Is it going up to 65, like
Well, you can
70,
claim- like
72
you-
or something?
Right now, you can claim Social Security at 62. That's like early.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that low. I thought 65 was the earliest.
No, you can claim at 62. If
Okay.
you have an IRA, you can claim at 59.
Hmm.
If you're a widow, you can claim at 59. And but the earliest you can claim Social Security is 62. But that regardless, the idea is for me and colleague, that number is arbitrary, and for a lot of people our age.
Sure. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
we
you're
got a
not,
super-
like, you're not 60 and you're ready, getting ready. You guys are far off.
We got a super chat by Iron Man. If you want to read that.
Who do the elites worship? Unseen gods / aliens? Thank you for that donation, Iron Man. That's a good question. I think they worship themselves. They are gods unto themselves. Egotists.
I do wonder if they have some kind of supernatural experiences. Like if there ever were if aliens do exist, they probably are talking to the elites because they know that the elites are the ones running the show. Or if they're demons or whatever they are, gods.
They're still
whoever.
talking to them.
Yeah. So the elites would definitely know if aliens exist or if gods exist and all that. Because they would be the people that the aliens or gods are talking to.
Indeed.
It is. I will say there is a weird connection that people have made with a lot of pagan ritualistic stuff that the elite people do, like the Bohemian Grove type stuff.
Oh yeah.
They always have to have some kind of weird goat thing, and then they always have to have an owl, and there's always blood involved, or pretend blood, if not real blood. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on in the elite world. Even the music they listen to is weird.
Like that.
No, that wasn't music.
That was alien music, I think.
Yeah, I had to tell Planet Crouton something real quick.
Crouton.
So you think that the retirement age is correlated with the extraterrestrial takeover?
It could be. I mean, the aliens could be, the aliens don't want us to die off. If aliens exist and we are their guinea pigs or their lab rats or whatever, then they want to make sure that we are kept alive. And they want us to make robots because robots will help keep us alive. So the aliens probably aid the elites in making these robots, which a lot of other people have found it kind of strange how tiny our transistors have gotten in such a short amount of time. Even the very first one, the first iPhone made, is kind of strange how we got that technology to begin with. And so people wonder, where did they get this idea? Where did they get this technology? And if they say from China, well, where did China get it? I mean, how did we develop the technology we have today in such a short amount of time?
Ancient Chinese secret.
Maybe ancient Chinese aliens.
Wow. We've never seen Chinese aliens. We usually see like
American aliens.
or they look kind of like a hybrid between them and what's those other hominins?
Pygmy people.
No, the Europeans,
Pygmy ponies.
the Neanderthals. It's like a hybrid between short people and the Neanderthal face and the forehead, and it seems like just a hybrid of all these kinds of people. But I've never seen like slanted eye Chinese aliens.
No, they always had those big bug
Yeah,
eyes.
they're really big eyes.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't look like any race. It could be an evolved human race, like because it does look like you could see a little bit of human in it, of every kind of race inside of an alien.
Well, especially the Greys. If you think about the Greys, they have big heads, which means their brains have evolved. Their eyes are really big, but they're covered with like sunglasses, right? Because their eyes are usually all black. So they've developed eye protection for probably the solar radiation. And their mouths are real small, right? I don't, probably because they were getting tired of people talking all the time. And their bodies are kind of very thin and kind of, they're just very thin and wiry. So they're not very strong, probably because there's no nutrition in the future. So it does kind of, and they're all gray. Their skin is gray, again, from lack of nutrition. It makes sense.
And there's no head chasers anymore either.
Any what?
Head chasers.
Head chasers.
Because, yeah, their mouths are too small.
Well, what if it's because, in the future, you don't need none of that. Everything's controlled by telekinesis. So they have the power to control everything with their mind. They don't need to be outside. Everything is controlled by controlling.
So artificial. Yeah.
Or ECCO. It's like controlling people's destiny, controlling people's actions. You're controlling counterfactuals. You are controlling things with telekinesis. You're communicating through actions, not so much words, so you don't need a mouth. Everything's a projection of your mind. So that's why the head is so big. And the eyes are there because, of course, you need to see, but it's not so much mouth. You don't need to talk.
Yeah.
You just know.
Yeah. And they don't appear to have any reproductive organs. Right. So I guess that's they're done with that. They don't need those anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Why do you think their mouths are so small?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because they don't need to, do the thing.
I mean, there may be headhunters, but it probably just means like bounty hunters. Like they're actually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunters for bounty, yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. No disintegrations. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's overlapping.
Right.
They're not.
None
of them are given in marriage.
Yes, it's true.
And this is who the elites seem to be worshiping. And I wonder sometimes, too, because it is interesting, again, that... There it is.
Awesome.
It's really interesting to me that, the elites are trying to get rid of genitalia and gender and all that. And
watch out.
The aliens don't have any of that either.
Interesting.
So if the aliens are running the show through the elites, it would make sense why they're trying to get rid of marriage. So that way here soon nobody will be given in marriage.
So I guess kind of what you're saying is the aliens have no balls and the elites have no balls.
I guess that's one way to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you look at Nathan, he kind of looks like an alien.
Bad skin suit.
Mm-hmm. And who could have said it best other than that Frozen cartoon? Like, why would you have a ballroom with no balls?
Wow, got some interesting sound effects going on there.
Yeah, we can actually.
Well,
It feels like an action movie now, without the
Yeah, if you're
action.
working on it, let's don't forget the cricket sound because need that once in a while.
Well, Iron Man's positing something. What about CERN? I think he put another super chat in.
Oh my goodness, he did, and he very generously gave us another $2 and said, "What is CERN shutting down for? Giant magnet. ... You know what? You're going to learn some very serious news. Watch Saturday's pre-recorded. Please, I implore you to watch it to the very end. There's a very important announcement, and it could be tied in with what's going on at CERN right now. Makes a lot of sense.
They may
But
already know.
You'll know. Yes, but everyone else will learn Saturday. I'm not giving anything away.
Well, what happens when two worlds collide?
They blow up.
Yeah, I was going to say you usually need a rocket ship to escape because they're going to blow up.
Maybe they intermingle and create a new world.
No, that doesn't happen if you combine two worlds.
It's a dialectic, isn't it?
Well, you glue them back together.
Well, if you're talking about like Hegelian, yeah.
Yeah, well, it can be. That's a type of. But you have two paradoxes, and then when they collide, it can emerge to a new thing. Maybe that happens, and maybe CERN shutting down is because they've already collided the two worlds, the particles, and created a new thing, and that's what we're experiencing.
That's true.
Maybe that's what's happening.
Could be.
It would explain all the Mandelas, as we already know. That is,
yeah.
Could be why Indiana Jones has a mustache now in the first movie.
Yeah. I mean, opening up those alternate realities, maybe they're trying to find another reality so that we can escape to it.
You ever think that it's possible that each human is their own, let's say, the Hadron particle collider, and every time you go to sleep, your dreams are nothing but collisions, creating new realities, and then when you wake up, it's like a whole new reality. And you just are believing that you have a past because of the collisions of the particles, which are creating these memories or thoughts like Mandela effects. And you wake up and you think basically what you've just been experiencing. But we're all just particle colliders, and we are just waking up to a new reality every day. But you just believe the past is real because of these collisions called your dreams.
The heck?
Well, yeah, the future doesn't exist any more than the past.
Right. This assumption that because we assume there's time, that's why we think there is a past or a future, but you can't really prove time. It's just moments. That's the only thing we know is there's moments. And we put a scale of a moment. This moment moves to the next moment, which assumes there's a previous moment. But you can't prove the moments. But maybe it's all just collisions that create these alternate realities, and then you believe that when you wake up. And each person is experiencing that. And then there's a large particle collider that correlates everybody's dreams into something synoptic, something correlated. And we're all just inside of a big particle collider. And we're just colliding particles. Like when you interact with another human, that's what's happening. And then the collision happens in your dream states.
You're saying the collision happens like maybe in a blink of an eye, but for you and the other piece of consciousness, it feels like an eternity.
Yeah, and you readapt those things when you go to sleep. And they happen in your dreams. And then you wake up again, and everything seems fluid and normal. And then you interact with people, which is like more particles. And then when you sleep, the collisions happen, and you have more realities. and then it just continues on like this, but it's all interconnected because of the system of the larger particle collider.
Ghost, you're making my head hurt.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, that's the idea is when they collide these particles, what they're trying to do is find new particles. Because the idea is you're trying to get close back to the original state of the universe. But the fear is that these could also create alternate realities, or like Everett's theory of the new world theory. Like you have multiple universes.
Yeah.
And so who knows what's happening? So when these collisions happen, are you creating a new timeline? And is your dreams just a new timeline? And so you wake up, you're the same person, you're just in another timeline. And everybody's doing this. Everybody's just continually waking up in new timelines. But they're interconnected because you're the same person. But they're all compressed in the large scheme.
Somebody was talking to Joe Rogan on this topic of like dying. Mm-hmm. I think they called it the Mario theory or something. Maybe it was a bigger term than that. But like every time you die, you don't actually die. Like let's say I get hit by a truck, but I actually move out of the way just in time. In reality, I actually got hit by a truck, but because my consciousness can't stop, I just jumped to a different timeline or a different universe. Yeah, where I also exist, where I didn't get hit by that truck.
All right.
And now I just keep on going. Right. So it's almost like, and I think they call it the Mario theory because, Mario eventually saves Princess Peach and her toadstools in the end of the game. It's not, but if she's asking him, if she asked him, so how many times did you die? He'd say none. I went through the whole thing without dying once. But because you're on the other side, he died like 50,000.
Whoa.
See, something the ECCO is trying to make sure you don't tell truth. They're trying to prevent you. Every time you tell something prolific, it's like, hawk.
Well, that's
I think you're pre-programmed.
It's like,
that's pre-programming, man. Every time you say something you're not supposed to, you wind up doing that weird gagging thing.
Somehow we got to decrypt that. There's something secret in all
That's right.
this.
We got to deprogram you.
I almost felt like that Encounters of the Fourth Kind movie. It's like, it wasn't an owl. It wasn't an owl. I was like,
We're going to get the black van, just so you know.
Yeah, well, thank you.
We're going to drive around your place with the black van.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a interesting theory because you can't prove it internally. Only an external source could prove it. Like we as the watcher of the game.
I'll be right back.
But other people, humans, they may be able to see it, that you died.
That's right, yeah. We can see other people die.
Right.
But to that person, they didn't die. They just transferred to a different universe.
Right, they just shifted.
Yeah. So they didn't know that they died. They actually they avoided the bus. Right. They didn't. So all these times that you almost died in your life, you actually did die, but you'll never know that. Other people in those previous realities, they did see you die from all those times.
Yeah, and it's plausible, and there's no way to prove it. Well, I guess a better word is there's nowhere to disprove it because you're continual and you're conscious. Yeah, there's just no way. Because, once you die, there's no way to prove what happened to your reality, like where you moved. Did it end or did it move somewhere else?
Yeah, like Elder's reality.
Right.
Did Elder just jump realities?
Yeah, but somehow, people who are really good, they'll be able to come back. Like, they have the power of controlling which realities to jump to. Kind of like, how in Super Mario, if you fly really high and you get real up there, you can go down this area where you're out of the screen, but you're still walking. Mm-hmm. Then you fall down into this place where there's a magical flute.
Yeah, but even in that, it's not like you can go back.
Yeah, he chooses, do I want to go to this world, which could be an old world? Do I want to go to a future world? But he can always go back to an old world, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so some people have the magical flute.
What happened to Elder? I feel like this is Elder's conversation stuff.
Yeah, well, I think he took the flute. He's turned into the World Economic Forum playing bird music.
Did you blacken the screen?
No, he's
It shows right there. We should be able to still see.
Yeah, it's a couch that's empty.
Yeah, why isn't it on there?
Because I have it darker, so he's not.
Oh, okay.
That oversaturated.
So it's not actually black. That's if you turn up the hue, then you'd see the couch.
We can fix.
There he is.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can fix the mystery. But
he has no idea we're even talking about him.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't have his transmigration apparatuses on.
Nope.
He's about to plug in. And 3, 2, 1. Hey, and you're back.
That was pretty good.
How was your reincarnation experience?
It was pretty good.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
We were actually just talking about, this whole, transferring to different realities, and like when you die, is it all just black? And I looked over at your screen, it's all black. So we assumed the worst.
Perfect timing.
We were worried sick.
Well, I just want to tell you, CERN is doing fine. Don't worry about the black hole. It's all okay.
Okay, that's good to know. Well, you guys heard it here. Don't worry about that brown hole out there.
It'd be interesting because you really can't know. Because see, if you did know, like inherently knew that I can never consciously die, you would play this game. It'd be like Just Cause. You would start trying to find ways, knowing that, that's
what happens.
I know you're just going to migrate though, but if you knew that, like somehow you knew you would just migrate, you would actually play Just Cause. You try to find experience.
Well, that's what happens. There's people that they attempted suicide, and there's actually a whole movement now where you guys have probably seen the semicolon.
No.
If you guys see like a semicolon tattoo or a stamp or a sticker, a semicolon, that means that person attempted suicide. It's a thing.
Been around for a while. Yeah, it's been around for a while, actually.
Oh, well, I guess I just learned about it a few weeks ago.
And I guess I'm learning about it right now.
Yeah, it's been around for years, actually.
Wow, okay.
So, yeah.
Well, if you know more about it, please.
I know more than what you just stated, just that I knew what it represented. I just knew what it represented for a few years.
Well, it's what's interesting is that semicolon, it means that you've jumped
timelines.
Yeah, because you tried to unalive yourself, and you probably did in the other reality, but you didn't in this reality.
Yeah, but an outsider could have watched you attempt, fail, and they would know, well, you failed. You're still back.
Well, that's usually how it works. You know what's funny in these semicolon incidences, you usually don't see them succeed. I mean, you usually see them succeed. They attempt it and they go all the way through with it. Like if you watch them do it, sometimes you can stop them, but then they failed. It's just one of those things, But if they were just alone and they tried to hang themselves or whatever, and the rope broke, which is interesting in itself, like why would a rope snap? These weird supernatural things happen. It's almost like they have to happen because, the rope broke in this reality, but it didn't actually break.
If you play this theory out and you try to make systematic function for it, what you could make is that there's a contingency involved. So suicide is actually a contingency for the theory. Every person who tries to commit suicide, there are those that die, but they come back. But this has to happen so that's actually a migration from a different timeline, and they jump into this body, which allows them to continue their consciousness, but they may be disconnected from their the memory. So now they're transmitted into this memory, and the reason why it can continue is because these failed attempts of suicide is actually the ability to just jump the different timeline. And this timeline is just one of a billion timelines, but all these timelines have people attempting suicide, but they also come back. They just don't die. They actually come back. And those ones that are coming back are the contingencies for where people can jump the timelines. Because you need people to continue in this, not just die off. And those people may be the ones who fail at their suicide attempts. Or
Maybe.
not just suicide, just failed deaths.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't mean an unlimited, or it would be a limited amount.
Right, and there's only so many. Because, think about, like, again, you would have to be aware. If you're not aware, then what you're trying to do inherently is be self-preservation. You're not trying to die. If you're not aware that you could do this, what you're trying to do is just live as long as you can. You're trying to be safe. You're not trying to die off. So naturally, suicide and death would be accidental or consequential. It's not like I'm desiring this.
Right.
So there wouldn't be that many. So you wouldn't be jumping timelines as often. But when it does happen, you just jump into the other person that failed. And there's room for that because there's always failed attempts of death. Not just suicide, just like you got hit by a car and you're pronounced dead, but they brought you back. And that's just a failed death. But that would be a line for you to jump into that timeline. And this happens in every alternate world timeline. There's always these failed deaths.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just trying to think if you want to make something like, how would this theoretically work?
Well, let's go back to the chats and see if people are still alive back in the chats.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got going? Oh, man, we got to go all the way back up.
Consciousness
Wow.
is a weird thing.
Tell me about it. Unconsciousness is even weirder.
Colleague knows more about that than I do. He's a
So
dreamer.
Bill, oh yeah, dreamer. Bill sent a hiding emoji or icon or whatever it is, which is interesting. And then he said, "It's day 6 of eating Taco Bell until I get explosive diarrhea."
Isn't there that thing going around right now in 15 states, cycloparalysis or psychopsoriasis or something?
Syphilia or something? Yeah, it's the diarrhea disease.
That's coming from fecal matter, that when you're washing the lettuce, there's that washing water has been contaminated by fecal matter. And there's like 15 states that have that going on.
I don't know, something like that. All I know is if you eat lettuce, you'll poop for days. Iron Man says, "Who are the gods? Who are the elites worshiping?" So he typed that in before he sent the special thing. And then YouTube bot says the camera's too high, can't see the mukbang.
Yeah, I know. I brought it up, but the mukbang has already ceased.
What's a mukbang?
Participating with another while they're eating, so you can have a jointing participant, so you do not feel alone while you're eating. Eating with another.
Oh,
Yeah, basically where those people have like high-powered mics and you can hear them chewing and swallowing.
oh,
It's a fad.
oh! Isn't that some kind of MRI or
ASMR.
something?
Yeah,
Yeah, ASMR. Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
yeah. Iron Man says Tom Segura and Christine P are officially divorced. Thank God she was annoying as poop. God bless you.
I'm not sure who those people are, but
I don't either.
Happy trails.
Do we know who they are? Anyone? Okay, so the three of us don't. So maybe someone could put that in the comments. Iron Man, do you want to tell us who they are? And why they're significant, if in fact they are. I was answering Iron Man's 6-day regimen of eating Taco Bell. I said that probably happened on day 1. Run for the bathroom, as opposed to run for the border. And he said we need the toilet flush noise back, which you very ceremoniously created, which is appreciated.
We got that now.
Yeah. And then Iron Man says, "What is CERN opening?" And then YouTube bot says, NMN supplement with NAD plus resveratrol and French maritime pine bark extract reverse the aging process.
I was going to say French maritime law.
That's, yeah, I was kind of wondering where that all came in at. Iron Man says, "Do you guys think the Nephilim roamed the Earth and created these hybrids like the Centaur and the Minotaur and the Giants?" The baseball team, or is that a football team? I forget.
Honestly, if I made my own baseball team, it would be the Nephilim.
Yeah, that would be a
That'd
great
kinda
name
cool.
for. Yeah.
So the
Bill says,
Giants.
yeah, instead of the Giants, right? I think it was ancient gods that gave us technology to build the pyramids, and we lost it because humans are dumb animals. Well, not necessarily dumb, but we are power hungry and greedy. And if someone hoarded that information and then they died off before recording it, yeah, that could happen.
Well, I think the ancient gods were trying to rule this earth. So one way they tried to do that was giving, according to the ancient literature, they were trying to give the humans technology and knowledge to be able to do that, so they could subdue the earth. But of course, with these gods in charge, that didn't work because the humans were probably killing each other and killing themselves with it. But then the angels, it seems like another way they tried to get and control this earth is through sleeping with human women and then creating the Nephilim. But that didn't work because the Nephilim just started killing everybody again. So it seems like any attempt that the gods have tried to control this world kind of backfires on them.
You know, when you say that, first thing comes to my mind. First of all, they're not very tenacitive. I mean, if only thing you had was 2 attempts and you quit, because they're not doing anything now. I mean, you're pretty lame. And it's like you're pretty stupid, too. It's like you couldn't have thought of anything else for thousands of years.
Well, maybe they have, and maybe they've perfected it over all these tries, and that's why now we're at the stages we're at now.
Okay, so then what did they do after?
After what?
So you're saying first they gave technology, that failed. Then they tried to impregnate humans.
Well, I don't know if it failed. That's just my take. It's
just go with that. So what's the next thing they did? How did we get here?
In fact, well, I'll just say that it's not like it failed. What happened is they got in trouble by the higher deity, and the higher deity, well, he punished them. So it's not like the giving humans technology failed. It's that it made the higher deity upset, whatever they did.
So then it stopped. If that was the case, then how did we get here?
What do you mean?
So giving them technology, that didn't work out. So they tried to impregnate humans. That didn't work out. So what was the next thing they did so we can get here, where we're at today?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So whatever these higher deities, they must have not stopped them because they did something so we could get here today.
Well, it seems like there was multiple attempts at doing the same things over and over again, but maybe in different ways.
So they're still doing something then.
Well, I mean, it depends what you believe, but yeah, I guess.
Assuming this narrative, this high intelligent deity narrative, whatever.
Well, they may still be sleeping with women, I guess. I mean, you hear about
like reptilians and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. Those would be the children, the offspring of these deities sleeping with women. But yeah, I mean, some people believe that they're still doing it. There's actually shows made off of this. What's that show? I think it's called Lucifer, where there's it's a pretty famous show. There's this guy who's supposed to be Lucifer, and he's sleeping with women, and I think he's having children with them. I can't remember. I haven't seen it. I've just seen previews for it, but there's a lot of shows like that.
Maybe what you're saying then is that's the answer. Maybe it didn't fail. They just keep doing these 2 things, and that's all they're doing. Maybe that's all they have to do. Just keep reintroducing new technology continually. Even if humans fail, we'll just do it again. And then we'll just keep impregnating people. Even though it might fail here, we'll just keep doing it again. And they just keep doing it over and over and over again, and eventually it worked out. Because they just keep dumping more technology every millennia, every century. They just keep dumping new inbred human people.
Well, the idea is if you want to control this physical world, you have to be physical. So they give human beings physical weapons, but the human beings probably rebel, as they do even against the greater deity. They rebel against these lesser deities, even with these weapons. Even though they gave them these weapons, the humans are too stupid, like Elder was saying. They're like, we're not going to listen to you either. We're going to rebel against any spirits or anything that gives us anything. We're just going to take your stuff and then kill you with it. But human beings can't kill spirits, of course. I know there's some weird people out there who think that sage grass or something can hurt. Some spirituals like, I'm going to light some grass on fire. That'll do
so maybe the elites
but,
are the ones who didn't reject it, and that's why they're so successful. All this advanced
Everyone
technology.
knows.
Maybe. To me, it seems like AI might be a new attempt, but because if there does seem to be a weird, if we can believe all these accounts, there seems to be this weird chasm between the spiritual world and physical world, and this is what. So the spiritual world has a lot of power, but they can't use any power on this physical world. Like how does a spirit pick up a cup, or how does a spirit do anything? So they need to, and if they can, maybe it takes too much energy to cross over this chasm or whatever. I don't know. It just seems like it's very difficult. Like you see ghost videos, and these ghost videos can only push things very slightly on a counter. They can lift something up for a brief second and it falls. It's not like they're lifting up cars or anything. It seems like they're very, very weak. But it's probably not the case. They're probably really strong in their world, in the spiritual world. They're probably very powerful beings, but when they try to do things in our world, they're not as powerful. So that would explain the attempts. Like if you sleep with a human woman, you would think, well, surely my own son would listen to me, but then he turns out to be this little Nicky, and he grows up, and if we can believe the ancient accounts, it's a giant who just goes around. He's like this inbred-looking giant person that goes around eating and ripping up everything and destroying. Is just like Hulk. Actually, Hulk would be like a perfect example of what the ancient giants were depicted as. They were just destructive, very angry. They loved ripping humans apart and drinking their blood and eating their flesh, doing it to animals. They were just raping everything, humans and animals. And
Sounds like my typical weekend.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're into that, it's,
Did you say that this Saturday is Happy Beer Month? Or week?
Beer Day.
Beer Day, National Beer Day.
National Beer Day.
Yeah, so shout out to the Giants.
Yeah,
enjoy beer.
But today's day, though, is happy. What is it? Oh, today, August 6th, Thursday, is Finish Your Degree Day.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
So,
wow.
Anyway,
okay.
It does make a lot of sense, I guess. All of these things are the attempts of the spiritual world trying to control and dominate the physical world, and they just haven't been able to do it. And again, this would add flavor to other ancient narratives of, a son of God actually doing it and actually being successful, being given dominion and all this power and everything. But outside of that one narrative, it seems like all of the other attempts were failed lab experiments.
Well, I guess it does explain ideas like Manichaeism. Like there's a deity, and then there's a bad deity, and they're always fighting each other. And there's like this cosmic battle.
Yeah, they're both trying to dominate the physical world.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they're spiritual entities, but there has to be a protagonist and antagonist.
And it also explains possession. Like, it seems like demons can't do anything. I mean, in every culture, whether it's Zins or whatever they are, Jinns, Zins, they can't do anything unless they're possessing a human being. Then they can go pick up a coffee cup. Then they could hurt or kill somebody. But they can't do it if they're just a spirit. It's not like you see on the Exorcist movies where spirits are throwing people around. That's just not ever how it happens. They would have to possess a human, and then they can pick somebody up and throw them around.
Well,
but
maybe
they need to.
You could think maybe then possession is kind of like getting an upgrade. It's not like total lack of volition, but like the ability to have information that's external, and it's not from within or something that you gained. It's just you have possessed this information, and that ability is what allows you to gain like really obscure information, advanced technology, or anything else. But if that was the case, then you wouldn't necessarily call it like evil or good. It's just something that these ancient deities would decide to try to project their reality into the physical world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so much a moral problem.
Well, whichever one wins gets to dictate what morals are, I guess.
Yeah.
And different gods have different likes and dislikes. So yeah, if one god wins, then all the other gods have to surrender, or at least it's like a game of risk. They could try to do something up against that god, but
it seems perpetual. Like it's like a risk game. Like sometimes they start winning more, and then another person, and it depends how much maybe theoretically in this conversation, how many people they can convince to accept their information, and then the more that they do, then they start controlling more. But then the other person another deity finds a better way to do it and convince other people, and kind of shifts all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like that's just a perpetual thing, just keeps happening.
Yeah, I think the biggest question is, why do they want this earth? I mean, what is it about this physical reality that they care so much? If the spiritual reality is that cool, why not just stay there? Why do you need to? Why is everybody trying to win? You're trying to win the game of Risk because you're trying to win. But like, if this earth is just a big game of Risk to these higher entities, is that all it is? They're just playing chess?
Well, I would think it's kind of like an onion then, You have lower levels, but you're contained like an onion. Every time you peel it off, there's another layer. So maybe these entities, all they can do is control Earth. Maybe that's all they see is Earth. But then there's a larger entity that are controlling the entities. And then that's the higher level, and now they're not controlling Earth, they're controlling the entities that control Earth. And then there's a higher level that are controlling those entities, which maybe it's just like dimensional progression of what you can control.
Yeah, I guess it could literally just be a power grab, and that's it.
Yeah, and it just keeps going up because that's all you can deal with. Like, I can't go into the fourth dimension, nor can I really control two-dimensional realities.
Right.
I mean, I'm over two-dimensional realities.
Well, we as humans should understand this, too. It's like you have two regional managers fighting for the position.
And they're stuck at that location. Their regional manager power doesn't go to, like, the CEO.
Yeah, they're not even trying to fight for CEO position. They're both trying to figure. It's like there can only be one regional manager over here. But so you have all these different equally qualified people trying to fight for that seat of regional manager. And then there's just the normal managers below them who are all trying to fight for just local manager. So
that could be
it's
also
very similar.
Progressively, like if you're talking about like these deities, it could be the same thing. That's why they focus on Earth, because apparently they are the low-level deities. They're bigger than us, and they are trying to deal with us, but that's all they can do.
I guess if this is the case, then Earth is like the lowest, the totem pole.
Well, there's probably
so
something.
Who's controlling the janitors?
Probably something
type
smaller
thing.
than that, but that'd be on our level looking down.
Yeah, it's like The Office. It's like everybody's trying to fight for that Michael Scott seat, and it's like who are we? It's just a simple little paper company, but it's because the small managers, maybe lowercase g's, are fighting over this little tiny office.
And I'm sure if this, theoretically in this conversation, it probably spread out, then in the universe there might be multiple powerful functions that are controlling other things. And then if there's multiple universes, then it goes even farther than that.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see a TV show called American Gods?
No.
Neil Gaiman.
I've seen America's Got Idols.
Yeah, it's probably close. It's just interesting. It's about there's the old gods like Greek and Norse and the old gods of myth, and apparently the way gods get power and the way they're created is by belief. So the American gods are like media. I forget. There's a couple different ones, but it's because it's what people believe in. And I think another one was money. And it was the idea of the old gods trying to come back to combat the new gods in America that were coming up. It was an interesting take on that whole concept of gods created by belief.
It sounds like the idea of the Christmas spirit. The more you believe, the powers, the more you believe, Santa's sleigh.
Yeah, not far from it.
Well, that just makes us the God of God at that point. That means we created the gods, and we could destroy them just as easily. All we got to do is stop believing in them.
Yeah,
If
they
our
get
belief
weaker.
is what's giving them life, that's pretty easy to just stop believing. And that means the God is going, or goddess is going to do whatever I tell them to do,
See,
or else I will stop believing.
This is that old argument about volition. If a God is contingent on my choices, then I'm as powerful as the God, because their actions cannot move forward unless I participate in a volition. That means my free will is equal to a God's free will, because I have true volition and they can't force my volition. And that would be the problem, because then you would have to say a God is, and you are powerful at volition level.
There's quite a bit of chat material. So if we could go back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We pause this discussion and go back. I'd like to get through some of this. Frederick, welcome back to the network, Frederick. And let's see, you said check the book, The World. Oh, hold on a second. There's something weird happening. Check the book, The World's. Why is it doing this?
Are you on live chat?
Yeah, it's
the YouTube
the
gods.
report block keeps coming up. I don't know why. The World's Game is the book that he is referring. Well, let me. Oh, this is freaking weird. Frederick says music to my ears. I think that was from the Tour of the Flesh, because Iron Man says yes. Frederick says I'm gooing. I don't know what that means. I'm gooing. Hey now. Frederick says tis es while fa. I read them as they're I read them as they're written, folks. And then Iron Man mentioned the CERN shutting down. What is happening here? Something is broken. Okay, there we go. All right. Now I got to go back up again. Suckers. They hate this damn chat window. Frederick says they kiss each other on the lips. I have no idea what that was referring to. YouTube bot says the Milky Way in the black hole. Noah says I'm back. I didn't know you were gone, but it's good to see you back. Iron Man says, but who/what is running the show? How many? Iron Man says, hit that thumbs up, folks. And then he says, WTF was that? Men in Black shizzle. Then Noah Cloud says, did you guys watch the video?
Is he talking about when I almost inked?
Yeah, when you went hawk, hawk, hawk.
Oh, probably. Because you, there was something. There was an organ coming up, but apparently you swallowed it back down.
Shout out to Oregon.
Oregon.
Oh, whatever happened to Oregon, bro?
Yeah, I wonder whatever happened to Oregon, bro.
They might be secretly watching.
Yeah, it's true. We just, if you are listening out there, just let us know if you're okay. Noah Cloud says, did you guys watch the video I posted in the AI tab? Actually, funny you actually posted that, Noah, because I just watched that short the other day. I actually had seen the trailer for it, and I was like, yeah, send me a notification when this comes out. I want to see it. And boy, howdy, was that a mind trip. It's called Pomegranate, and it's a completely AI created sci-fi short. It's got some interesting visuals in it, but the story has a very interesting ending. I thought it was pretty cool. So it is in the it's in the chat under AI. Noah was kind enough to post it. I will say though, I think it's like 20 minutes long, so it may be a little too long to play here, but the video is out there for you guys to watch, and I do recommend watching it. Not for kids, mind you. And let's see. And Noah says, I guess I gotta post it before you can see it. Oh, MAO. I guess he didn't post it when he sent that, but it's up there now. Iron Man says, I know that's the story, but do you believe that? You got me. He says, so what is it run like the mob where you can get away with certain crap before you get whacked? He said the Jays were the leftover crumbs from making the golden calf. Goldberg, Goldstein, Goldski. Oh boy.
At least you're admitting that they are gold.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'd rather be a golden crumb than like I don't know, crumb off of some piece of trash or something. I feel like that's an honor.
Yeah. Well, also keeping in mind that there's crappy people in every race and ethnicity and religion. Humans are humans, and you're going to have crappy people, and you're going to have some good people in there too. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. Not everyone in any given race are all bad. It's impossible. Iron Man says, we as humans compared to what? And then he says, sent a W, and there's a little block with a W. Then he sent a 6-7, which is a little 6-7. And then he said, check out the TV series V from the 80s. Oh, my goodness. Talk about a blast from the past. It was wild. They were our reptilian overlords and would keep parakeets in cages as snacks. I believe they would do that with guinea pigs as well. There's a pretty creepy scene where one of the main characters, the woman is like a commander. She picks up a guinea pig and she detaches her jaw and it like opens like inhumanly wide and she stuffs in the guinea pig. It was really, for the time back in the 80s, it was extremely creepy.
What movie is this called?
Well, it's a series, a mini series called V for, the visitors, I guess, but it's just called V. And it's about alien invasion of Earth. And they come, with saying that we're friends. And of course, like every alien invasion, it turns out to be quite the opposite. And it was a good premise, but then it got silly towards the end. If Bill remembers the series, he'll probably remember the word pratinama, which was one of it just jumped the shark when it got to that point. But anyway, Bill says when 80% of a certain race convicts almost all of the violent crime, I can start grouping people together. No, because just like, Lot finding one good man, you know what I mean? Like the point is, if you can find one good person in a group, then I guess they're worth saving. So if you're saying there's 20% of people that don't, then that 20% means it's 20% of whatever population. If there's 10 of them or 10 million, it doesn't matter. That 20% is worth, they're worth whatever. I mean, I don't know. And, even people that commit crimes, I mean, you do have to kind of look at it from a perspective of like a repeat offender is one thing. But if someone is in a bad situation and they do something really stupid, but then they change their ways and they're like, I realize did something stupid and I want to become a productive member of society, and they really do turn their life around. I mean, I know there are stories of people who've done that and been very successful and become very important members of society. And a lot of those people, honestly, found Christ. There's a lot of people in prison, when they're going through that process, they find God in prison, and then they come out a lot better than when they went in. And, there's people that we got to support and, help them because they're trying. So, like I said, there's evil people anywhere. There's plenty of evil, straight white people out there. Your color or race or ethnicity doesn't dictate how you are as a human. Humans suck. But then there's some humans who try to do better. So let's hope we keep doing that. He said there's too many people like the guy that had 19 offenses and he stuck a knife in a Ukrainian girl's neck on the subway in Charlotte. Yes, the Russian girl. Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, there's obviously something wrong if you keep recommitting crimes. And I think we need to look at that as a civilization, as a society. Why are certain individuals constantly recommitting crimes? Recidivism. Why don't we see people, people that make mistakes and they want to do better and they want to, they want to, pay for their crime that they committed and they want to go back to being good citizens. Like, why? And you're right, Bill. Why are we letting these people commit 19 offenses? And the 20th, unfortunately, was this innocent Russian or Ukrainian girl on a subway, innocent. He did not know her, but because of whatever evil or mental illness or whatever it was, he took her life. And that is just, it's not right. He says, anyway, what are you guys really think about the Nephilim and these other types of gods, not just what they say? I don't know. I think a lot of times it's, we were discussing a little bit earlier about the truth of the Bible. And, if you're a Christian, obviously, like for myself being a Christian, I believe the Bible. I believe it's God's word and I believe everything in it. Some people will point out, well, there's errors in it, there's inconsistencies, but I think that's all part of how it was written, how it was inspired, how it was assembled. And I know that they do mention the Nephilim in the Bible. I'm not quite sure what the purpose was because they don't go into it in great detail. It is mentioned. I don't know. They mentioned that they were the men of renown. So they could be the heroic figures that we do see throughout history, could have been a crossbreed of the Nephilim and the human women that they produced children through, which, would, make some sense. So, we've seen certain heroes, kind of exhibit almost superhuman attributes. And even today, you see some people, extreme athletes and things like they're lifting weights and they're doing endurances that are beyond normal standards. And what's their trick? What do they have that the rest of us don't? Could they have some of this Nephilim blood in them that causes them to be, almost superhuman? I don't know, but interesting theory.
Well, in the literature, I think the first appearance of that term Nephilim is in Genesis 6. And that's where it says the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they produced Nephilim. And if you look at the other literature in that same time period when this was written, the same, at least the oldest copies we have, the literature in that same time period, when that term Nephilim is used, it's talking about giant humans, giant people. Like, there's actually a book called The Book of Giants, and it's allegedly written by the Nephilim, and they're freaking out because they know that this Enoch has prophesied that a flood is going to come and wipe them all out. And it actually, even though it's the Book of Giants is not canonized in the Christian literature, it gives a lot of context to the Christian literature, at least the Jewish literature and Christian literature. Because these giants talk about Enoch, and they also talk about these angels sleeping with human beings, and then these giants were their offspring. And these giants, when they die, their souls are actually demons, which is why demons exist and why demons have to go possess another living organism so that way they can, again, have dominion on this earth. Otherwise, they're just running around in dry, arid places looking for a home to stay in. But yeah, these giants are freaking out because this Enoch guy has been prophesying that a flood is coming. And the whole point of the flood is to wipe out the giants. That's why the flood has to go above the mountains, because some of these giants were massive. So the flood had to go above the mountains, and that way the giants couldn't, it would go over the giant's head. The giants couldn't swim for long enough. They couldn't just stand on top of the mountains either, because it was going to go over even the mountains. So no matter where the giants were, if they're trying to find some safe haven on the mountains, that wouldn't work either.
Wow.
So if
Chris
they were,
Humboldt.
but if they were
sorry.
superhuman and they had powers, why didn't they just build a boat? I mean, they could float.
Makes you wonder why no one else thought of building a boat.
Yeah, I mean, at minimum, you would think if they kept hearing about this event, they would at least try to. Somebody would have tried to do that.
Well, to build a boat.
Did no other boats exist at the time?
I'm saying if they had like super knowledge or alien technology or something.
Well, you wouldn't even have to. I mean, the flood's coming. Go down to the dock, get in your boat, and the boat's going to rise.
That's the other thing. It's
water.
like they had rivers and stuff. Didn't other people have boats?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yes, the answer is yes, people had boats, but the size of the boat is something that's really hard to do. To construct a boat that's not going to break in half like the Titanic, if we can believe those tales, those legends and myths. The size of the boat matters, because you have to know what you're doing if you're making a giant boat. That takes a lot of intelligence. Now, it doesn't seem like the sons of God, or these gods or angels or whatever, the upper creatures, it doesn't seem like they cared about their giant children, because they didn't care about saving them either. In fact, it seems like they were even a nuisance to their fathers up above in heaven. So they could have passed down that knowledge, but they just didn't care. It seemed like these giants were just brute force. They had no brains at all. They were basically like inbreds, like what I was saying earlier. Like when you have the DNA from inbreds, and you start having these handicapped children. It seems like that's what was happening.
Like brainless, but extremely strong.
Yeah, like they didn't have all their chromosomes, but yeah, they were giant, and they're a bunch of giant doofuses, very dumb creatures. But they were human.
Okay,
yeah, and they were just destroying everything. Could they build a boat? Probably not. I mean, they could if they had some kind of intellect, but not only that, you'd have to build an even bigger boat to house all these giants.
Brutes, what they usually do is take things by force.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't they just take the people who were building boats? Why didn't they just take their boats?
I don't know.
Because that's what I'd do if I was stupid and I had a lot of strength. And I'd just go in and steal these people's boats. And if you did it as a team, you definitely would take over.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think they could take Noah's boat, the Ark, because he was under God's protection.
I wasn't talking about something like that. I was just saying, in the hypothetical, there's this weird, event that happens. You would think panic sets in, brute force. I'm going to come in and steal people's boats.
I don't know.
Well,
maybe
yeah. There had to be fishing boats and such around, or
just big boats
used to cross rivers.
I'm desperate.
Well, they don't have to be giant boats.
I'm going to throw a camel at you or something, and I'm taking your boat.
But I'm saying it didn't have to be a big boat like the Ark. I mean, it could have been, like I said, a fishing boat, or a boat that would be used to cross a river or lake or something. I mean, there were other devices that would float during a flood. I don't understand why there weren't more survivors of the flood.
They might be able to not drown, but they may not be able to eat after 40 days and 40 nights, 150 days or whatever. You're gonna die of thirst at minimum, because the water is most likely salt water. Because it didn't just come from above, according to the narrative; it came from below as well. And again, this is all if you can believe the narrative. All the details are not given. There are more details, though, for this Genesis 9 flood account. There are more details found in the Book of Enoch and in the Book of Giants and other literature surrounding at that time. So
another question it posits is, if it's a localized occurrence, then that means these Nephilim kind of creatures, They weren't over in like China or North America or anything else. So these Nephilim creatures just picked on the
You're saying
Mesopotamian area.
people that believe in the Nephilim believe in a global flood. So
Yeah, but then
if you don't believe in a global flood, you're not believing in the Nephilim. Those kind of go hand in hand. So
if it was a global thing, that posits even more questions. Because now you're talking about the Arctic.
like what? What's hard to understand?
I was like,
What kind of question
because
are
I
you
mean
talking
that means you're flooding the North Pole, the Southern Pole. You're flooding everything. It's like they would have been frozen. It would have never thawed out.
We probably would have, yeah. I mean, and chances are we'd be finding
there'd be an
skeletal
ice
remains of them.
age going on. You would have messed up the Gulf Stream, the oceanic streams.
Yeah, I don't believe it was the whole world. It was the whole world at the time, which was that whole section there, in the Middle East. I mean,
Because it
that
would
was
take a lot more time than that to get like situated from freezing waters all over the earth. That would take a lot of time. And that means these Nephilim creatures had to be everywhere. Because if you want to do a global flood to justify it, they need to be everywhere because that's why you did a global flood.
Well, I've heard real advocates for the global flood position.
One second, we got a super chat.
yes. Iron Man says Noah Cloud was the original conspiracy theorist. Thank you for the $2 donation, but I think he means Noah from the Bible. But hey, maybe Noah Cloud was also an original conspiracy theorist. Who knows?
Yeah, sure.
Anyways, continue.
Well, the advocates for a global flood typically say that Pangea was a thing, and it was possibly floating, just a giant landmass. So everything was there. The Nephilim, the people, everything was on this giant landmass.
Yeah.
And then after the flood, once water, the upper waters came down, it added more water to this earth. So it actually, when it covered the surface of this whole Pangea landmass, and because the landmasses float, which is how plate tectonics work, it broke apart and surfaced. The buoyancy caused it to flow up to the surface and spread out. This Pangea land formation. So in the beginning, it was all one landmass.
Plate tectonics don't have an issue because of water. It's because of magma. It's floating because of the magma underneath the surface of the earth. Water itself would have nothing to do with the smoothing of the plates.
Depends on what year you went to school, I guess. And when I was in high school, I was taught it was water, that our land masses are floating on water. That's I did not go to a religious school.
Well, if it's
secular
floating
school.
on water, that means the land mass would be underwater. Like the bottom of it would be water. It's actually floating on water, not lava. But if that's the case, how do you have volcanoes? Volcanoes are magma pushing through the crust and creating terrestrial surface, so it's floating on magma. That's how you get volcanoes.
Magma.
That was a question for my...
If it was all water, there would be no volcanoes.
Question for my...
It'd be shooting out water.
Science, my public school science to answer. I'm not a scientist.
And we do have volcanoes.
But either way, yeah. I mean, I can think of some things that they might say, but I just don't care enough.
Yeah,
so.
even at that, let's say that's cool. Let's say that's true. It still would be difficult because you have the northern and southern poles. They'd be frozen.
As a side note, I don't know if you guys knew this. There's actually a website. I was going to talk about this on this week's episode. I completely forgot. But there's a website where you can type in the year you went to school, and it'll actually show you all the things that you learned that were wrong and all the things that you learned that were right. So apparently that's a big thing now because everybody's realizing what they learned in school is wrong now. Not everything, but a lot of things you learned in school is wrong. Historical facts, geological facts, scientific facts, things that were facts back then are not facts anymore. They're all wrong.
We should look at that on one of our episodes. That'd be interesting to see how much things have changed.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, because a lot of times I think I'm going crazy, but seeing stuff like that is like, oh, well, it's not just me. I know there's a whole world of people out there who learned at the same era that I did, and they learn the same garbage, whether it's true or false, or maybe it's still true, but the elites nowadays are just saying that was false. What you learned before is false, and there's really no way to know that. But anyway, getting back to the whole the scene.
That's the only thing that ever puzzled me, though, really. That's why I bring it up, is the global flood issue is the poles, because the idea is that it's all frozen, and clearly there are icebergs and all, and nobody's denying that, and there's Antarctica and whatever. If you had something that much water, it would freeze that much water. And it's all over the earth. That's going to take a lot longer. Unless you like really heated the earth really fast, and maybe. But then that would cause its own problems. That's probably the thing that's like, if you push this narrative, that's really hard with that much water freezing. Because it would be freezing up there too. And that's a lot of water.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe you could make the argument.
As far as I know, none of the ancient texts talk about how cold the water was.
They probably
it's like it's 30 degrees Celsius.
They
or
could
something.
never go
like,
up there. Clearly, they would have died.
Well, they don't have thermometers. They're not talking about cold
maybe
water
those
is.
deities went up there and maybe they breathed hot air on it and melted it.
I don't. Why does temperature matter? You're talking about because the ice melted?
Because it's so cold at the poles that if you have all this water and it's there for a long time, it's going to freeze. And
could have been a lot warmer back then. Well, like that's what a lot of advocates say, is that the climate was a lot different pre-flood.
Climate change.
Yeah, but then humans themselves still stay at a neutral temperature. It's not like we were adapted to living at a body temperature of like 120 degrees.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't know what they would say to that, but I'm sure they have an answer.
Anyways, I was thinking, well, maybe the deities fixed it.
They could have.
Yeah. Like there's a southern deity and a northern deity, and they're really hot. Like dragons. Like if there's dragons.
Heat miser and cold miser.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was thinking dragons. If dragons are real, they could have played a part.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, something had to do something.
A lot of ancient literature talks about those too. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eastern cultures do talk a lot about dragons a lot too. I don't know.
Yeah, there's dragon myths all over the world.
That's why it's easy to imagine dragons.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Well, if there was like large flying entities that had some kind of unique predatory power, of course it would create a myth, because it would be a dominant predator. It would literally anything. It could kill anything.
Somebody just recorded a dragon over Scotland recently.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What?
What? Yeah, there's a dragon in Scotland.
You're just saying it nonchalantly. Oh, yeah. This is a dragon over in Scotland. Yeah, it's just
well, I mean, we know there's something in Loch Ness, right? There's something dragon-like.
I can show you guys the video. Let me see real quick.
Can you look it up while I read the chats?
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to talk about it in our video. It doesn't seem believable, so I didn't. But
when did that ever stop you?
Well, I try to spit facts, you know.
Everything is a fact.
Start digging.
All right, I got the video, but you can read the chats first, and I'll play it.
Okay, Chris Humble says war on drugs is a failure. You can't punish addiction out of someone. Must treat the root cause.
I feel like they're implying something. Like we're over here talking, and they're over here talking about drugs. This is why you guys need to stay in school and stop smoking drugs.
Stop smoking the drugs.
Yeah.
No, I
stop
think
doing alcohol.
We were talking about people in prison, and the fact that so many people are in prison because of drugs. I think that's another point. If they're not getting the care that they need to fight their addiction, they're just going to come out and go back to it. So I think that's what Chris was trying to refer to.
Hole.
Mm-hmm.
Bill said, my niece's father is 6'7", and she was born with 6 fingers on one hand.
Mm.
You know, that's not as uncommon as people think. There's actually a lot of people born with 6 fingers.
Yeah, they have Nephilim blood.
If you look it up, it's not as uncommon as you think.
That's what
I
the
guess you
giants
could-
were supposed to have. These Nephilim had 6 fingers allegedly, so
Oh,
that's one of
most
those things.
cartoon characters have
You know,
4 fingers.
there is a conspiracy theory out there, and it's pretty rampant in a lot of more charismatic circles in the Christian communities that the Nephilim genes are still out there. The Nephilim had children, and they had children, children's children.
Yeah, the blood,
down
the
the
blood.
line.
Just like I have 1% Jewish blood in me. I mean, yeah, I mean, there
But
could be people out there with Nephilim blood.
Hawk, hawk, hawk.
yeah, so imagine taking the DNA test, 23andMe, and it turns out you have like 23% Nephilim in you or something. It's like, whoa, what's that?
Yeah, I don't know how do they test for that though? You know
They
what I mean?
probably
Like,
count your fingers. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, you can read the chat again. I'll just.
well, now I'm kind of freaking out because a friend of ours, their daughter had 6 fingers, but they were, I think it's called didactic, where the 2 thumbs form a claw. So one thumb was facing one way, one thumb was facing the other, and then she had 4 other fingers. So she actually had 6 fingers. That's interesting, huh?
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. Yeah,
It's
they had
actually,
it
if you
corrected
look it up,
surgically,
it's not
but,
as uncommon as you think.
Yeah, interesting.
I
Yeah,
feel like
tough
she could
buying
type
gloves,
extra
but I guess
fast.
you could get mittens.
Do what?
What were you saying, colleague?
I was just saying she could probably type extra fast. Like she'd do good in like a
yeah.
law firm or underneath a judge in a courtroom.
Yeah, that's true. Stenographer. They had it. When she was born, when she was still an infant, they had it corrected surgically. So she doesn't have it anymore. But they took away her Nephilim power. That's what they did. It's not right. All right, let's see where we're at. We're at Bill saying, if this boat's a rockin', don't come a knockin'. Then Bill says, like Frankenstein or Steen. Frankenstein. And Bill says they were dumb inbred hillbillies that couldn't make a boat that was stand 1,000-foot wall of water. Then he says China has a global flood myth as well. Every nation on earth has a global flood myth. There's proof of that. Oh, damn it. It jumped again. I hate when that happens. Man, come on. There's proof of that. The Grand Canyon was formed in a week. He said there is constant flow of artesianal wells from deep within the earth all over the globe. You can see how much it changed with our own eyes. They told us that boys have vaginas for 10 years. It's real.
For 10 years? What? For the last 10 years, they've been telling us that boys have vaginas?
And then I don't know what happened, Bill.
It's like as we read the chat, it feels like we're creating a myth
But then
story.
he says,
I know.
when it's real hot, my nuts drag on the floor. I mean, he's just kind of shifting gears here. And he says, school was retarded. School was so boring. There are 2 guys running a Loch Ness Monster scheme for decades. One of the flood theories is a giant glacial lake that burst and flooded across the Atlantic. My niece's father is Ashkenazi Jew from Ukraine descent, and she was growing a thumb out of another thumb. That's what interesting. That's kind of what my friends were very similar, and that's the Jewish blood that I have, the Ashkenazi. Let's see, and then he says polydactyl. That's it. That is it. And then Noah got a word in edgewise here and said sea levels have fluctuated wildly over the years. Up there are fishing villages in the mountains and artifacts on the sea floor. And finally, Bill catches us up here with they cut it off when she was about 4, but I used to have her give me 3 thumbs up. That's cute. Yeah. My friends had their daughters done when she was much younger. I don't know how old she was, but yeah, they had it surgically removed. So yeah, interesting. Something else we have in common, Bill. It's amazing. We have a lot in common.
Well,
Anyway, we caught up to date there.
I'm going to show this video of a dragon.
Please.
And then I'm going to have to go use the bathroom.
It's that moving that you'll have to use the bathroom
You
after
guys
seeing
haven't
it.
been
That's
able to
interesting.
participate in the festivities over here.
Oh.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show this video of a dragon.
Please.
And then I'm going to have to go use the bathroom.
It's that moving that you'll have to use the bathroom
You
after
guys
seeing it.
haven't been
That's
able to
interesting.
Alright, I'm going to show it again. Alright, here we go.
Wow.
Where did it go?
They had the Matrix going on.
There we go. There's nobody talking behind this. This is some 7 News channel, Australia. So,
Is that over in Melbourne?
and it says Glasgow.
So they're Australians in Glasgow.
It's
but-
pretty big.
They're saying, so I looked it up on Google just now. Let's see, how do I get, let me see. Okay, here we go. So it says a giant dragon spotted flying over Glasgow on July 22, 2026 was not real. It was an 8-meter long, 26-foot animatronic replica of Cyrax from the HBO series House of the Dragon. That's a pretty big replica. So this thing,
Get it up there.
yeah, I don't know. Is it a remote control? Is it a kite? I didn't see any strings. That was pretty high to be a kite. They're saying, look, guys, it's not real. Yes, it's 26 feet wrong. Replica.
Well, you know,
It's just floating around. And I'm just going to play the video again real quick.
Yeah,
This-
that doesn't.
It looks pretty flimsy. Like, I mean, it looks like the wings are actually moving.
but they say it's animatronic, so it should be moving.
But I mean, like, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the wings look really like they're going like this. Like I don't know how an animatronic is that fluid. I feel like it'd be more bricky. I don't know.
Yeah, unless they're trying to tell us, like, acclimate us that this is normal. There's drones out there, and they're trying to tell us that just so that when we do see these, because they're releasing the dragons, the real dragons, that everybody just doesn't believe they are. They just think, oh, it's just a kite or an animatron or a drone. So then you get acclimated to that, and then you'll see it more often,
What?
and then you'll just think, oh, it's just a drone. You won't think it's a real dragon, but they're releasing the dragon. So you're the dragon.
Yeah, I know you can't trust the internet because it's AI. You can't trust your own eyes because it's drones and stuff. So
And it's perfect because
it's probably real stuff going on. We just couldn't know.
They always have an answer. And you see the thing. I mean, I guess the only difference is if you could touch it. If it came down.
Yeah, and it smoked you.
Wait a second. It's trailing something behind it.
I ain't seen things.
There's something. It's hard to see. I just put it on my phone, which is a little bit bigger image, a little clearer. Yeah, that's weird. It does look like there's something I can't quite tell.
Let me get this back up real quick. Oh wait, hold on.
There's definitely something.
Yeah, right here.
Wide in shape.
I thought that was just a bird.
No, I thought it was too, but it's not.
But yeah, there's definitely something following it
It's
right
something
here.
mechanical. Yeah.
Or maybe that thing falling behind it is the animatronic dragon, and they're just chasing this real dragon. That could be the drone. That actually looks like a drone, and maybe the drone is following this massive dragon. The dragon could be real, and the drone is following behind it. 'Cause that looks like a drone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're gonna make a giant animatronic dragon and then fly it somehow with no strings, no nothing. There's no propellers or nothing. It's just up there flying by itself. No turbines. Why would you attach something by a string?
Yeah, see, that's not
that doesn't
really
make any
either,
sense.
because if the wings aren't pushing off enough thrust, that would have to be some kind of propulsion of some sort. But when you're listening to the background, it's just birds. You're not hearing anything.
Oh, there's another video. You can see propellers behind it.
Oh,
There's another video.
Let me see if I could paste.
If
holy
you
crap.
can put it in the main,
or the Discord.
Yeah,
the Discord in the
let me
main,
work
I'm going to
on it.
use the bathroom,
All right, let me
and
see if
then
I can-
host can put it up. I'll be right back.
Be careful. I don't know. Would it be far-fetched to believe that dragons are real?
No, honestly, I mean, I think it would be a lot more likely than a lot of things that people are proposing.
Or, you know, something, we got alligators. So, I mean, why can't there be pterodactyls or something like that?
Well, let's face it, all those creatures did exist at one point on the planet.
I'm
mean,
saying
that's what
there's
they keep
alligators.
saying. Yeah.
Alligators look like a very prehistoric animal. Why couldn't there be a flying derivative that kind of looked like an alligator?
Let's see if this is it here.
What do you guys think in the chats? Would it be really difficult for you to accept that dragons are a real thing, or something pterodactyl-like, a prehistoric flying animal?
A
That's very
flying
large.
reptile, basically.
Yeah. Of course, it wouldn't be common, but to think that it doesn't exist. I mean, there's still a lot of the Amazon forest that hasn't been mapped out and explored. So, and they might be able to. Some of them, maybe they can adapt into colder weathers, and maybe they live in in Antarctica, and they're like more Arctic birds. And they're large Arctic birds, and maybe that's why we don't see it, because they're over in Antarctica.
Did you guys see the video yet?
No, he's still trying to post it.
I'm trying to find it.
But
yeah, the one that I just.
Maybe I can try to find it on my end, and I can just.
Because that is the thing. We don't have a lot of footage of what exists over in Antarctica. If there are prehistoric creatures that can handle that, then there might be more thicker furred birds that are very large in Antarctica that could be something like that.
Okay, hold on. I may have found it. Let's see.
yesterday after a giant dragon was spotted soaring over the city. The dragon was caught on camera gliding past
There it
Oval
is.
Hydro in the early hours of the morning. A lot of
You
punters
can see
had
the two
their
propellers.
theories, including football fans convinced it was a secret stunt for a rumoured Rangers signing. With
That's
one
probably
fan
the
saying
drone
a
flying
dragon
behind
being
it.
spotted in
There it is.
Glasgow on what looks to be Vanya Dragojevic to Rangers announcement day. Good job. However, the dragon was spotted again today, and the real reason for the incredible display has been revealed. The creature is a high-tech replica of Cyrax from TV show House of the Dragon, brought to Glasgow to promote the upcoming third series of the popular HBO Game of Thrones spin-off. The dragon, which measures
Yeah, but see, you know what's funny? So that was a drone flying behind it. Yeah.
So I was saying that's probably the drone footage.
That's how they got the footage. See this footage. So it was a drone.
The upcoming third
Look, see
series
this looks familiar. This is that where the drone was. It was right behind it like
of
this.
the popular HBO Game of Thrones spin-off. The dragon, which measures 8 metres wide and was built over 3 months, was also brought along to celebrate.
And somebody put a 26-foot dragon in there. I guess that show has a lot of money. You know, Game of Thrones.
Oh, it sure does.
Yeah. And for good reason. It's a good show.
House of the Dragon, I don't think was quite as good as Game of Thrones, but
Well, I was going to say,
Right, not House of, but the Game of Thrones was.
I was
Yeah.
going to say that's a really good drone.
Mm-hmm.
Like whoever built that.
The drone following the drone,
No,
or
the
main
actual
drone?
dragon. Like that thing flew smooth. The wings were smooth, and it could consistently fly.
Mhm.
Like that's a very good drone. Like they really hid the way it had the ability to have a propulsion system, whatever means it was using. It was very discreet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a very good drone.
Yeah. I mean, it took everybody because, I didn't do any research because I didn't talk about it. If I did talk about it, I would have looked into it more. But then eventually I probably wouldn't have talked about it. So I guess no matter what. But it would have got me. Like, I thought that was possibly a real dragon sighting. And I was like, oh, well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's one of those things we'll just never know. Kind of like that, what was that orb, that metal orb thing?
Mm-hmm.
oh
Like,
yeah.
It's like, what do you do with that? You can't prove it's real or fake, so you just have to look at it online and be like, well.
But that orb thing was even more perplexing because there was no orifices for propulsion.
Yeah. Yeah. And now it's in the hands of the internet.
Or the South American government.
Yeah.
Right, the people in South America, yeah.
Which we can trust what they tell us.
Oh, they're the ones that gave us that claymation alien skeleton.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm always fascinated with engineering, and that I would say, just looking at that even on surface level, very casually, that's very good engineering on that Dragon drone, because it's difficult to hide propulsion data efficiently, and that's pretty nice. But I did ask the question anyway. I was like, so it's a drone or not? Is it hard to believe there could be a dragon or pterodactyl-like creatures?
I don't
we
think
got
so.
we got some input here. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Let me catch up because Bill's got some comments. Bill says there's more ice in the Arctic Circle than there has been in the last 2 decades, and there's also more polar bears on record than ever before. I think he's just kind of talking about false, fake news that we get. And then Bill said AI. He thought maybe the dragons were AI, but we proved it was a model. He says, I think dragons were 100% real. There's too many accounts of them, and them being in the Chinese zodiac signs with all the other living animals gives further proof to me. I mean, that is, it does seem like it's very prevalent in different societies to not have been real. He said the world's too big to have discovered everything that's other stuff. There's other stuff out there. And he said that droner is giving host a boner.
It does definitely excite me. I do appreciate good engineering. Because people throw stuff all the time. They just throw stuff together, and it looks like some craft project from a kindergarten kid. That definitely wasn't. They were definitely trying to convince people that was a dragon. They did a good job at it.
Not only that, next time if somebody ever saw a real dragon, they're going to think, "Oh, it's just another drone."
Right. It's
or it's
propagational stuff.
It is perfect. I personally believe that there could be giants out there today. There could be dragons. There could be all kinds of things, but we will never know because the government is that good at keeping it hidden from us. And now that the internet's everywhere and everybody's got phones and cameras, the government had their next genius idea, which is tell us that everything's AI, and then put AI. And sometimes I wonder if we don't actually have the AI that the government's saying that we do, but they're puffing it up right now on purpose. That way we think that everything's AI on the internet. So if we do see a real alien, everybody and film it, nobody's going to believe it. If you see one in real life, you're not going to believe it because you're going to think, oh, the government's doing something again. Like it's just the boy that cried wolf. So it's kind of genius.
It's not just AI. It's also automation. As robots get better and drones get better, then they'll just use that. And it's a drone or it's a robot with a human mask or something. And at that point, you're back to this Matrix world where you don't know. You can't question anything. Everything is possible, but
Project Bluebeam may have just been a big psyop thing to tell us more falsities. The government's never going to do that, but they wanted us to believe that that's something they would do.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, when we see real aliens, we're just going to think it's all fake. It's the government's Project Bluebeam.
That's the epitome of a psyop.
Mm-hmm.
Like that World War II think tanks. It's always
right, the inflatable tanks. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe there's something about dragons, and Iron Man's right. Every culture has some kind of weird bird archetype, like large predatory bird archetype. And so, there's something with that for sure. And China's really big, and there's a lot of forest areas that are undeveloped and stuff. So who knows what's out there? And Russia's still really big. There's a lot of like cold, undeveloped areas. And my thought is, Antarctica is very obscure. What if it's a colder bird that has a lot of fur and they're in Antarctica? Clearly, nobody would know that.
Mm-hmm.
And they could just be over there. There actually could be all kinds of creatures in Antarctica, but we're never going to know that. We're just told that it's this desolate, cold, obscure place, but it may not be. Well, it might be cold, but it might not be desolate and obscure.
Mm-hmm.
And creatures can live like in those areas. But we're just told that those kind of creatures were extinct or they no longer exist and there's nothing there. But clearly it's so protected, we'd never know. So if you were to hide animals, it'd be in Antarctica.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of regions of the Amazon forest that are still undiscovered and unmapped out. So,
well, if there is an ice wall, that would explain why there's an ice wall. It's not so much to keep us in as much as to keep all these giant creatures out. And again, so they can control everything inside the ice wall. It's a lot easier to control. They create our reality. We're like in a giant Truman Show dome. But there's no dome. It's just an ice wall around us.
And the ice wall could be symbolic. If they use things that are like electromagnetic projections, they can make animals stay because they can mess with the frequencies that cause animals not to come in this region.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll just force them to stay there.
Yeah, using sound.
Yeah, sound or electromagnetic pulses or anything else.
Yeah, some kind of force field.
It was just electromagnetic.
Force field.
Yeah, like what you see on Star Troopers.
I mean, it's like mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, they deter because of higher frequencies. The same thing with animals. Like dogs whistle. Dog whistles are very high-pitched. All you got to do is utilize certain frequencies and things, and you can keep animals restricted.
And you put a bunch of kids around the ice wall. That'll keep all the animals away.
And it'd be frequencies that humans aren't even bothered by. But anyways, if there is any place, it'd be Antarctica.
I know I tell this kind of stuff to my kids all the time because when their stepdad comes around, they're always like, he tells us that he has this this really cool car and his big house and And I'm always skeptical, and I always tell them, well, you don't really know. I mean, you haven't seen any of it.
Is that the third or fourth stepfather? Because I know the third one is like a dominating CEO.
Yeah, this it's the first one.
Oh, okay.
But
you're talking about the trash man.
I don't know what he does now.
Okay.
But the principle is still the same. I always tell my kids that you don't really know if he has those things or not. Like it sounds like he's just bluffing.
Right.
But yeah, my ex though is unfortunately too far gone. So she just believes everything he tells her. So he tells her he's going to take her somewhere, and she believes him. I mean, it's crazy because I couldn't do that for years.
So you went along with it, so it was like a threesome?
No, I'm saying I could never get her to believe anything out of my mouth. So, and I always delivered on my promises.
Maybe you need to learn from the first stepfather.
Yeah, maybe. But I have to believe it myself.
Well, you know what they say. Technique.
It ain't broke. Don't fix it.
Technique.
Mm-hmm. I've never been too techie, though.
Yeah, that is a problem. You do have to start, advancing your technology knowledge base.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm more of a musician.
Technic.
I was going to say musician, but yeah.
Do you play the flute?
Huh.
You got alternate universe over here.
Elder, you got something to say?
I can't. I think because of my age, I just automatically hear every innuendo that is on this channel. I just pick it up instantly. Or it could be just I have a really dirty mind. But either one, I can't help it. And sometimes it makes me giggle like a sophomore.
But there's a place to really hide those creatures. It's definitely easier. I think that's why those theories still exist today. If there are really prehistoric or ancient beasts, it's in the ocean. Because if it's in the sky, anybody can see it. But if it's in the depths of the ocean, it's like, who's doing that?
Yeah, some of the things that they were finally getting glimpses of some of the creatures that are down on depths that the pressures would kill a human being. The creatures that live down there are so alien. It's unnerving. Some of the things you see are just seriously unnerving. It's like how is that even a creature on the earth? Like it's some fascinating stuff.
You could probably make a force field underwater too, though.
Of course.
With sound waves.
Of course.
Yeah, sharks would stay away from you. I don't know why they don't use that for shark cages. Use sound waves.
Well, some of
like that. You can record you doing that. That would probably work.
Find. You just gotta find.
But
hey, shark, catch this.
But I was just thinking about what you were saying
static.
earlier, which we live in a timeline now that is perfect. If they want to convince you that there are prehistoric creatures, now they can just fabricate it and you wouldn't know the difference, because now everything you're either going to believe it's robots, AI, or it's real, but you couldn't prove the difference. But since it's in the ocean, it's even harder because everybody can't see it. So now you just have to really depend on arbitrary videos and stuff.
Yeah,
and
but they're going to say it's a drone.
Right.
It's like, that's a drone 8 miles deep.
Until
they
want you to believe something, then they'll say, oh, but we got real footage now. But that's more difficult than the sky. So if you really, and that's why I think they're trying to tell us, like even the UFO committee, the congressional committee, they're saying these motherships come out of the ocean. Because I think they know. It's like if you really want to convince somebody but not have to worry about proof, just tell them it's in the ocean, because nobody's doing that.
They were watching the abyss before they made that announcement. Come on.
I still think that it's the elites that are flying these spaceships and they're doing all this stuff so that way whenever we record them, like, oh no, that was a blimp, that was a drone, oh, it's a UFO, it's anything but the elites laughing at us, because we're still driving gas-powered technology cars. Like we're still driving steam engines, and they're over here flying saucers. That there's no such thing as aliens, but they're just flying these things around as if there were aliens. But there's never been any aliens.
You know what's really interesting that you say that? Because, I told you the other day about Eastern Asian countries, and a lot of countries, not just Eastern Asian, like European countries. There's some base technology like maglev, high-speed trains.
Mm-hmm.
But what country, which we've seen, has the most occurrence of UFO spottings?
America.
Right. And who has the least amount of these modern advanced technologies?
America.
Mm-hmm.
But all the other countries, they are continually advancing. It's progressive, but they're doing things. They're proactive. But America is still, we got these gas-powered trains, the diesel trains, and nobody has maglev, and everything's really like on the lower spectrum, but yet we have all the alien sightings. I think there's something to that if you're thinking about the elites and the government.
Yeah, if the Chinese people found out that, what's their president, Xi Jinping or whatever?
Xi Jinping.
Yeah, that freak. They find out that guy's driving around in a flying saucer. They're not going to care because
They're going to think of some advanced technology they created.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, yeah, I guess our emperor deserves to be flying in a chariot.
Oh, look at how great we are. We've made spacecraft.
Yeah, they're going to think that's great. It's like our government's driving around in spaceships. Right. Yeah, we're still eating dung, but yeah, at least they're
Nobody's
eating good.
going
That's
to say
cool.
that was an alien.
Yeah, no. In America, though, yeah, you'd have an uproar if you found out Bill Gates, Donald J. Trump, Elon R. Musk, all of them are flying around.
While we still got diesel-powered trains.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I was sitting there just now thinking. It's like that should also emphasize America really has an echo chamber of this agenda, because only we would think it was an alien. Nobody else would think that.
Well, we think it because our government is telling us that.
Well, it's not just that. We look around us and it's like we're still living low tech. And because that, and the government's telling us we don't have this
But
tech.
we think it's high tech because we just got the 2026 Mazda.
Right.
It's like, and still gas power still has all the same. It's the same thing.
The moment you see other countries, like, oh, that must be AI. They don't have that.
Honestly, I think iPhone is a perfect microcosm scale of that. It's like we're changing things, but we're not actually changing anything. It's like, here's a new upgraded iPhone, but nothing's actually changed.
It's like a new update, but it's the same. Yeah.
Same thing with new cars that come out. There's slight updates just on surveillance. But that's the only updates is, we got more cameras on your car.
I just saw, and it's not even new. It was like a couple years ago. But over in China and in Korea and Japan, they all got electric cars that can go into the water. Like, it's fluid. Like, you can just drive straight into the water.
That's James Bond.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is to them, they're like, oh, this is cool. If that happened in America, people would think it's just like some freak or somebody who's just making a hyper dream car. But over in these countries, you can just go to the lot and buy it. And they're not even tripping about it. It's like, oh, that's cool. That's what I just started thinking. It's like, this has to be this weird echo chamber of suppressed technology, give an illusion, so you can actually make people believe that aliens are possible. If you gave them all this spectrum of technologies really progressive, you'd never think it's aliens. You just think the government's progressing in technology.
I don't understand why we couldn't have made water-powered cars to begin with. I mean, that to me seems like the most easiest thing to do. A car that can drive on land and water. Like, you go down south, like in Florida, they have those ducks. And those are pretty simple. It's very basic technology. Why does our car have to have openings underneath it? Why can't they just be solid like a boat? I mean, why would that be so hard to do? Is seal off the floorboard of your car?
It wouldn't be hard. It wouldn't be hard at all. Is there a need for it? Is it profitable? Would they be able to sell a lot of them? I don't know.
Well, yeah, they would be able to sell a lot of those cars that turn into boats. Like, I don't understand why they haven't done it already. I mean, you can... I
think they do, actually.
This is in China. It's an amphibious car.
No, it's not just in China. I've seen them.
No, I know that. It's not just, but I'm just showing you this car is a common car. You can just go to the lot, and you can buy this amphibious car.
Floods, man.
And it just drives in the ocean, and it comes back, and it's whatever. It's just a normal car, too. It doesn't look freakish.
Yeah, no.
It's just a normal car. and they're out there just
Definitely
driving.
good for floods.
I'm saying, I'm saying is when
people
they,
getting
when these
stuck in
Chinese people
floods.
see this, they're not thinking this is alien. I just go to the lot and buy this. If American people had this ability, they wouldn't think aliens no more. I'm just sitting there thinking, you suppress technology so you can continue convincing people aliens are real. If you advance technology too much, nobody would ever believe in aliens. I guess that's a genius propaganda tool. That's why you have to continue suppressing technology.
Yeah, well, America does have to slowly keep up with the surrounding countries because all it takes is someone to go overseas and then come back and try. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, it's like I just went 2,000 years in the future. I actually went over there. They're not fighting with swords in China anymore. They have something called guns. And
we're just now talking about drone taxis. Just now. Drone taxis are normal in a lot of these countries like Korea and China, Japan. Drone taxis is not a big deal.
That's what I'm saying. So America, the only reason America has to do it here is because other countries are forcing their hand. Otherwise, we'd still be in like the stone age.
One thing they use to preface this restriction is always regulations. Like, we need FFA approval.
Mm-hmm.
All these regulations is guys to say, we got to still wait another 10 years. We need to get approval. It's like...
Yeah, they drag their feet.
It's good to get people to believe in aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And and again, the map is what I think is convincing. The places that respond to "we've seen aliens" is predominantly the United States.
Can you imagine if America closed off the borders and did not allow us to go anywhere else? You could not leave America anymore. Let's say they just had another COVID quarantine thing. America can't go anywhere anymore. You cannot leave America. Anybody from other countries, you come back or you stay there. You have, you have 1 year to come back or maybe 6 months to come back, or you're stuck there. You're not coming back in. We're closing the doors. Imagine what would happen in 10 years. We, in America, would probably go back to the Stone Age. The elites would force us back to the Stone Age. We wouldn't even they'd take the gas products from us too, probably. And it would charge us more for stone stuff. Like you're going to be Fred Flintstone on it. Yeah, and it's going to be you're going to spend $100,000 for one of those stupid Yabba Dabba Doo mobiles, and you're going to have to actually push it by your own feet too. But then, let's say they open the doors one day, and you go back to China, and you're going to be like, "What? Whoa! People are doing. What is that? What is that?" Like we're all going to be like Neanderthals coming out of this Platonic cave and going into a real world again. And it's just going to be weird. I mean, I feel like that's what America wishes would happen. They just can't because we're still connected to the rest of the world. But if we weren't, they would just have their way with us. They would just have their way with us.
That's probably how North Korea is. They live in this very restrictive internet access and outside migration. And so it's probably like that in places like North Korea, where when they see outside things, it's like, wow, what is that? So they're not allowed to. Or if they do, you get killed, and that's never going to spread anywhere. They're over there still having, like, poo quotas.
Yeah.
So it looks like the amphibious cars have been around since Second World War. So it was to be the 40s.
They had World War II cars back then.
Yep.
We have them here in America. They're called ducks.
Mm-hmm.
They're just bigger versions, but you don't need them that big. Like it's.
Yeah, like I just showed.
I think those ducks were actually used in the war.
Well,
I think
that SUV I showed,
vehicles,
it was just like a normal SUV. It wasn't. It didn't look like an amphibious car.
But there are actually automobiles that look like automobiles that can go into the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Like, what's the holdup? What's
It's going to be EPA restrictions, like all these regulations. We don't want people doing that. It's going to contaminate the water or something else.
Only because of gas, but they can fix that.
Aliens.
Yeah, that's it.
They don't want you to have all the... Anyways, now that I'm thinking about it, it just seems like that, because if we restrict technology, the only thing it's primitive thing is like, oh, wow, look at that. It must be alien.
Yeah.
That's it. Because nobody else is really carrying... They're not attributing new technology to aliens.
Yeah, but we also haven't seen any real great advances in technology lately that I mean, like a big jump.
Yeah. I don't think you could do anything in the other countries to make them believe it's aliens unless it was literally a creature coming out and it looked like some kind of unhuman thing, then you might have other countries saying, hey, I saw an alien. But I don't think you could give them technology to make them think that's alien. Like, even, you know, all these UAP sightings that we have in America where they say, oh, there's this cube and it flew like this, and we all think that's alien tech. I think if you brought that tech over to another country like China or Korea or something, they would say, oh, wow, look at this new advanced technology our government's making. It's just an assumptive thing. This must be government technology, and it's coming soon to us. They're never going to think that was alien.
Right.
I think that's really good propaganda.
Huh.
Like, to convince people we just don't have this tech.
Well, other countries do, and other countries are already using it. So America does have to drag their feet. They do have to progress. An iPhone would do the same thing. They'd be giving us the same iPhone 5 from the beginning if it wasn't for Samsung progressing. In fact, in that new Spider-Man movie, which we just saw, I thought it was a great movie, by the way.
Cool. I haven't seen it yet.
Have not seen it?
I have not.
Yeah, well,
Not at times.
the Spider-Man, the entire movie, he uses that Samsung Fold phone, which I thought was really interesting, because if anybody has paid attention to the phones that actors and actresses use in all these movies, it's always iPhone. iPhone is always the phone of choice. You know, people have made videos on this stuff too, showing why are we always using iPhone. So, and it makes sense. It's American. This time, it was a Samsung phone, and it was obviously Samsung because it was it was foldable. It was that Fold phone, the Samsung Fold phone.
Yeah.
And I thought that was weird. I was like, wow. So that's forcing. I already know that's going to force iPhone to step it up or step out.
Yeah, they just said about 4 months ago they're going to create a flip phone.
Yeah, they're late.
Yeah.
And honestly, at this point, I don't think they even care about being late. They're just trying to see how far they can drag it out. Like, again, the rest of America. And that's an American phone. So America's doing the same things. Like, those people have flying cars over there, but we're going to get it in about 20 years, guys. Don't worry. Sit tight. We'll get you there. And, that's what it's going to come to.
Yeah. I have to think about this more because I think there really is something more about... It's just I guess it's in my mind. Like, I can see that alien map, the yellow spots. That is really interesting. Like, it just happened to be America where we all think it's aliens. That's predominantly the place, and it just can't be coincidence. That's because we have suppressive technology. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's very strategic propaganda. I mean, Americans would believe aliens before other countries.
Well, I mean, there might be a few other factors involved with that too, such as the suppression of information. I mean, there's a lot of other countries that are much more careful about with the information they let get out. So, I mean, the United States is like the National Enquirer of the world, in my opinion.
But, Asian cultures have these myths. Like, in Asia, they have a Bigfoot. It's called the Yeti. And they have myths and ideas, so it's not like it's some weird things like, oh, you can't imagine or have these fictitious ideas. Every culture has that. They just don't assume technology is a part of that. They assume archaic stuff is a part of that. But they assume technology is a part of human development, not because it's some alien.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
this whole alien thing is...
maybe it's because of sci-fi stuff. Maybe because Americans are so consumed with sci-fi.
Are we? Is it the most popular genre is in America?
Well, I mean, it's just the assumption that, every time you talk about technology, one of the natural assumptions, it must be alien tech. You don't hear that from outside places.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
It's just like it's actually a part of it's possible it could be alien tech. Nobody else is actually throwing out, it's possible it's alien tech.
Okay. Well, we got about 5 minutes if you want me to try to finish up the chats.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's give it a shot. All right. Let's see. Maybe Bill says maybe the ice wall is holding back the animals like they did in Gaza. He said they used to have those ducks in Philadelphia, and then one hit a barge, and a couple of students from Hungary died, and they shut them all down. Period.
Well, I want to know, Iron Man, what animals were held in Gaza? What animals are you talking about in Gaza?
Yeah.
What are these animals?
Oh, and I said to Bill that he put the link for the program V in the finance in Discord, and he says, I don't know what I'm doing, Elder. Tech ain't my strong suit. So if you want to see he was talking about that TV series V, it's actually in finance on Discord if you want to take a look at it. And the last thing Bill says is a lot of Christians don't like to talk about the alien stuff because it goes against the evolution thing.
Oh, that's all loaded stuff.
There we have it.
Well, I think it's kind of the construct narrative of propaganda too, wouldn't it be? Like, if countries are trying to focus on human development, they want you to not think about evolution in the sense of non-human creatures, extraterrestrial creatures. They don't like if a country wants to show they're the most powerful country, they don't want to attribute their technology to some foreign entity. That means they're not that great. They were given this information. So what they want to do is actually show, no, we discovered this. This is our creation, and humans made this. They don't want to say, oh, aliens gave it to us. That means you're not that smart, so aliens had to give it to you. That's what I think is interesting. In America, we're pretty easy with saying, well, aliens gave it to us. Other countries would not want to do that. It makes them feel like we're inferior. Because we're too stupid to figure it out ourselves, so we need aliens to give it to us.
Well,
I don't know. There's something really here. I can't figure it out yet. There's something going on in my head.
Well, Iron Man is saying that a lot of Christians don't like talking about the alien stuff.
Yeah, I get that.
Because it goes against their evolution theory. I was like, wow, what a statement. Wow.
I mean, keeping in mind that God could have very easily created aliens as easily as he created us. So, I don't think I don't know if that's necessarily a Christian thing or whether it invalidates your faith if there's other beings on other planets. Just means God created them too. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, what if the aliens are those lowercase g's that all these ancient religions talk about?
Could be.
And these things are the things that had sexual relations with human women. And
people were worshiping them because they were so advanced.
Mm-hmm.
And God was like, no, don't worship them. They're false gods because they're just aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to quote Tupac, God said, all eyes on me, not them. Don't listen to those guys.
Word
up. But it would explain the fire in the sky.
You're talking about the dragons?
Talking about Ezekiel.
It might explain the spirit in the sky as well. Norman Greenbaum.
Yeah. The wheels within the wheels and all that. I mean, sure, it's, Ezekiel is talking about Babylonian inscriptions and the Babylonian calendar. That's obviously what he's talking about. But what if the Babylonians were talking about aliens?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know. I do think, I think that's interesting. I have to dig more into that. There's a lot of information here. I can't really put my finger on it, but my brain is creating something. Like, I can feel there's something really interesting here.
Well, keep it cooking, host. Keep it cooking.
But yeah. I mean, how does it make you feel? If you were like a country and all your technology had to be attributed to aliens, would you be satisfied? Like, wouldn't it make you feel like you're actually telling the world we're just not that smart? Like, I wouldn't want to do that.
We were smart enough to be able to re-engineer reverse engineer.
This is all about the special people.
Yep.
That's what it is. See, if the aliens chose you, but no one else, to give you technology, you're a very special small group of people.
Well, that's assuming that they gave it to us and we didn't find it.
That's the narrative. We are the special ones. We are the chosen.
The crash ship that we had.
I'm always looking at the archetypical narrative. Like every propaganda has like a deeper motive, and it's like you need to feel like you're the special people.
But
that is true about the United States. I believe that is a narrative that is trying to be created in this country.
Well, how does that work if we look overseas and we see that they're better off than us?
That's why you need to suppress some of it. That's why propaganda.
But they can't.
It's difficult now because people still go there, but they're trying to do it more. Like, let's get this Golden Dome going on. Let's get all the kind of stuff. Let's get wars going on.
Because what they're using over there is not alien technology. It's actual human development, whereas there's things that we have in this country that's being suppressed that are beyond what they have. They're just not released.
See, that's
to
the narrative
public.
they push out. It's like Trump always says, yeah, but we have even more tech. We can't show it to you, but we have greater tech than even China.
Yeah.
We can't show it to you.
Right.
And it's like because we're the chosen people.
Yeah.
We're the special people.
Tickle me silly.
But nobody buys it in retrospect because you can't live it. Like, I can't experience any cool tech.
No, I know. The elites can.
Right.
Well, I would kind of argue that in a certain sense. Having lived 67 years, in my lifetime, the technological advancements that we've had, I think it happens so slowly that we don't appreciate the level of technology we have. I mean, the smartphone alone is an unbelievable... What the heck? The smartphone alone is an unbelievable advance in technology. I mean, in my lifetime, computers went from taking up an entire room, and I mean a big room, to being held in your hand. And those computers held in your hand are way more powerful than the computers that took up a whole room. And that's in my lifetime. That's not hundreds of years, you know? That's some pretty amazing stuff. And that's just one example. I mean, you know, you look around and see, you know, Bluetooth technology, how it's so commonplace now. And we had no idea. Like, you had to have everything connected by a wire. There was no wireless. You know, we eventually started using infrared for remotes and things. But the idea of transferring data over wireless, that's like mind-boggling. But people take it for granted because it's you know, you go to Walmart and buy a Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or whatever, a Bluetooth speaker. No big deal.
Yeah, but like engineering things, like China has like the largest dam in the world that actually slows down the spin of the Earth. It's like they do all kinds of things that to them they're just building things. It's like America could do that too, but they don't.
Yeah, but
and that's not hundreds of years. It's just an engineering fact.
This is Stu Wilson.
Listen.
How are you doing today?
What? This is interesting.
I'm doing good. How are you?
All right, sir. I'm great, sir. Thank you so much for asking me. So seems like we are here for...
See, that's our advanced technology speaking right there.
Yeah. What I was going to say also about the here's the thing. If you've ever noticed a road being
yes,
repaired,
I'm 44.
If you've seen a road being repaired somewhere in the United States, it takes them weeks to repair a road, right? Simple engineering. During World War II, they were building air strips overnight.
Yeah.
And so when China builds this amazing dam, right? It's like, well, of course, because they don't have unions and they don't have all these restrictions. They want to build a dam. The government says, we're building a dam. Get me 10,000 people. We're going to start building a dam. It's a different culture.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Isn't that a perfect setup to convince people there's aliens? Because you're going to use all these regulations, all these, permits and everything else to restrict things. But then all you're doing is showing your people we are on the lower scale. And then you're just going to chalk it up. Oh, we got restrictions, or we would. But they never get to see it. And then when they do see something miraculous, it's like, wow, how did that happen? And then there's conspiracies that come on. Oh, maybe it's alien tech. Maybe it's like...
Yeah.
It needs to be commonplace. You're right. In older times, they would build things very fast and do whatever. But they don't do it anymore. And was it premeditative so that they could utilize this idea of restricted technology so they could deceive people in the fact we are very special chosen people and we've got alien information. And that's why we're restricting.
They're going to use. I think that's a side effect that they're going to use is this. It's like, don't let a good crisis.
Oh.
What happened?
Your voice cut out.
Don't get things done as well.
Oh, there we go. You'll have to say all that one more time. For some reason, your voice cut out.
Oh, am I still on?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. What I mentioned before that I think it's, I don't know what part you didn't hear, but what I was saying is never let a crisis go to waste. And I think that's what the government is doing. Our government is doing. I think in its at its base, it has to do with a generational work ethic change. I don't think it's actually has anything to do with technology or anything at all. I just think that as generations progress, I think there's less of a loyalist work ethic where people want to do a good job. They want to work hard. They want to the company they work for. They want to be proud of that. I think that has disintegrated to the point where people don't want to work anymore. People have to work. They don't want to work, and they'll do the least amount that they have to do in order to, get a paycheck.
Oh, let's say that's true. You know what that leads to? Aliens.
Well, I gotta go. You guys can continue talking if you need to about this stuff. I gotta go, unfortunately.
Well, it's time anyway.
Yeah, I gotta actually, to be honest with you, I kind of have to go too. So it's probably a good time to end.
We have a turkey in the oven.
But anyways, as always, we appreciate you guys chiming in. Put in the comments, what do you think? Is it aliens? Is it propaganda? Or is it just evolution of technologies? But as always, this fine gentleman right... Yeah, World War II. This is my gentleman right here. That's colleague. That's Elder. As always, I'm host. And until next time, we'll see you guys next Thursday on Matrix Network Live.
Don't forget to look at the Saturday episode.
Yes, tune in this Saturday.
It'll explain why we may not be here Thursday.
Yeah, it's about gravity.
Yeah.
If we're not here,